We are Ole Miss Rebels. As Mississippi's flagship university, we dig deeper, see farther, work harder. We pioneered human organ transplants. We helped prove Einstein's theory of gravitational waves. We are conducting life-changing research that solves the problems of today. We are Ole Miss, transforming lives and the world.
Welcome to the POMcast with Stephen Willis. Now we're going to do things a little different. We are going to provide an honest look at Ole Miss athletics for the fan, by the fan, and of the fan. That is what we do. Hell be to me. I'm just kidding. Tune in for some Ole Miss sports news. We're going to give it to you straight. Yeah, right now. The POMcast starts now. It happens now. Holy cow. Listen to me. It's starting. Well, it's going to start right about now. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the POMcast. Sorry about the little delay getting started. I actually needed to go back and rename the file, and it put me a little bit behind the eight ball. It's my last week at my other job, so I'm a little busy with that. So excuse the mess up on today. So 1 minute late is unacceptable, and I'm going to try to make sure that it does not happen again. I'm sorry about that. I am Stephen Willis. This is the POMcast. We have a bunch of stuff to get to today. We're going to talk about the O-line search. We're going to talk about the Matt Corral 2022 draft perspective that came out today. That was pretty funny. And we're going to talk about women's soccer advancing to the next round, into the round of 32. They play Southern Cal Friday night to continue on in the College Cup. As you can see over there, we've got a bunch of stuff coming on. We're going to get to that in just a second. But first, I want to tell you about the Vault Society. The Ole Miss Athletics Foundation are really doing a big push for Vault Society support. That's a 5-year commitment of support with a minimum of $5,000 a year. And there's a benefit chart on the site that I'm going to tell you the address in just a second. But first, this is the week I believe that they lock in all the points for this season seeding. So you need to take advantage of that. And all gifts to Ole Miss between now and June 30th, though, will receive triple points. And they're divided into two groups. Red points are non-deductible and go towards priority seating. Blue points are 90% tax deductible and go towards parking and non-home ticketed games. That'd be postseason, bowl games, neutral site, etc. If you have any questions about that, go to the Vault Society website at give2athletics.com. Again, that website is give2athletics.com. Well, the POMcast and many of other video products that we produce are on these channels. You can catch them on Twitter at The Rebel Walk or at The Stephen Willis. You can catch them on Facebook at facebook.com/POMcast. We're going to also start sharing those over to the Rebel Walk site. You can catch us on YouTube at Positively Ole Miss. Hit the bell, subscribe, and you'll always not just know that we're streaming, you'll know what we're streaming about, so you can determine whether or not you want to make the time investment to get done. Now, you can catch us on Twitch at Positively Ole Miss as well. Now, if we have a couple of catch-alls, Willis Digital Media. Again, that's Willis Digital Media. It's on YouTube and Twitch, and that's the place that takes all of our videos, not just the Ole Miss ones, all the videos at one time. So you can catch them there. Willis Digital Media. On audio, we're on Google Podcast, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Spotify, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, and Pandora. Those are pretty much the major ones. We're also on minor podcatchers as well. If you're down with your audio, and it looks like you're down with your audio, judging by the numbers, thank you very much for that. You can catch us there through whichever podcatcher of choice that you use. the whole point of this Positively Ole Miss thing is to be wherever you are, where you're at already. We're coming to you. We're not asking you necessarily to go anywhere. However you consume your medium, you can catch us there. And like I said, Twitter, Facebook, we're all social. This is an example of basically a social media channel that is just really booming. I mean, we're growing through leaps and bounds, and all platforms we're trying to get growing. Right now, Twitch is the bottom of the barrel, but that's something we're going to figure out a way to grow eventually. Anyway, I mean, we're sharing on our Facebook groups and we're doing all that, and the numbers are going up on Facebook, and the numbers are going up on Twitter. But we want the others to match as well. So, this is what we mean by grow all platforms. So we really do appreciate you tuning in. I also want to let you know that we have a Discord server, and basically what a Discord server is a chat device. And we have it linked up. I'll show you how real quick how it's linked up on here. And there's nothing there now, and we're not doing anything now, but I mean, that's kind of what it looks like. And doing that, you'll be able to just keep tabs on what we're doing and participate in the program. Now, what it's going to do eventually, and what our goal for it is we're going to see it. If you post on YouTube, if you post on Facebook, if you post on the Periscope live stream, if you post on the Twitch account, all of those through a bot goes back to the Restream page. So it's like all of those, whether you're commenting there or not, everything goes to that Discord column. If you comment on Discord, it's going to show up in the chat as well. So use the Discord server if you want to for chat and take part. I mean, we're not doing that right now, but in the future we are going to really elevate the level of chat and participation with people on the site. It's going to be really cool. So I thank you for doing that. And one of these days I'm going to figure out all the things with Discord, send out invites and things like that, and just get you on the server, set admins, and we're going to treat it basically like an extension of where it is. Because whether you're watching on Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube, that Discord server and those bots are going to bring the conversation to one place, and all those being together means you can communicate all from one place. So it's pretty cool. So take advantage of that, and I'm curious to get a hold on how it works as well. So that's the Discord server. So last night, Ole Miss, they won in penalties against Bowling Green, the MAC champion. Won in penalties 4-3. Ole Miss made the last shot penalty, and it got a save to end it. So it literally went all five, which is pretty cool. But they won in penalties 4-3, and they advanced to play Southern California, who is a 9 seed. This is an example of what it looks like. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk about two things: the offensive line coach situation at Ole Miss, and the draft prospectus for 2022. That draft came out, and it's kind of something, you know. It feels like something, and yeah, I don't exactly know how to handle it, but we'll see what's up. We'll be back right after this.
Only 10% of us get enough daily exercise.
And that number is dropping.
Nearly 30% of us are overweight or obese.
We spend 6 hours a day in front of a screen.
As a result, we now have a shorter life expectancy than our parents.
But give us the right start in sports, and we'll never stop.
Learn how at active4life.ca.
Hey, this is Stephen Willis from Positively Ole Miss. We're almost done with this break. We'll be back with good information quite soon.
The military has been in every generation of my family, and so has VA. It wasn't easy for my dad after Vietnam, but VA helped him and my mom get the home they'd always wanted. My grandpa's been coming to VA since World War II. They even helped him lay to rest one of his battle buddies from Normandy. And me, I followed in their footsteps and served with pride. And now that I'm out of the military, the GI Bill's helping me with school. Every generation of my family has served, and VA has served us all.
All right, welcome back to the POMcast. Congratulations again to the Rebel soccer team for advancing to the next round. Round of 32, Southern Cal, the Trojans on the horizons. That'll be interesting to follow as well. Ole Miss let go. I'm not going to say necessarily let go. There appears to be a parting of mutual consent that happened between Ole Miss football and offensive line coach Randy Clements. This is what we know, that there was a mutual consent between Randy Clements and Lane Kiffin or the Ole Miss football program. That's all we know. Now, whatever went into that, nobody knows. It's all speculation. It's all guesswork. It's all, anytime you deal with anonymous sources on things like this, you have to really wonder where they're coming from. So be careful with that. Understand, though, the main thing is, the only thing you need to know about this is Ole Miss has an offensive line coach to find. And in doing that, they will complete their staff. That's all we need to know. There's not really a why that's coming up, what happened. From everything I heard, there's nothing nefarious that went down with this hiring. And it just felt like a time to move on. There's probably something that they saw over spring, and they wanted to bring somebody else in. Now, one thing you need to realize, and this is as a fan, as a person, if you want to follow this, Lane Kiffin likes the Baylor guys to put in that system. He really likes that offense, what they're doing. He likes all the tempo aspects and things that they do to put in that system. That's the reason Joe John Finley, Randy Clements, and Jeff Lebby were here last year. But after it gets installed for the first time to where the next one can move and all the tempo stuff is already in, Lane Kiffin tends to move on from those guys. Joe John Finley's in Oklahoma. Randy Clements is not at Ole Miss anymore. The only one left is Jeff Lebby. I like Jeff Lebby. He's a great guy, and he calls a good game. But his him being at Ole Miss, the job has kind of been done. Jeff Levy's a great coach and he's going to do great things wherever he lands. But it is traditional. He did the same thing at FAU. Once you get in and get the system established, bring in your recruiters. That's what Lane Kiffin does. That's what he did in his last stop. There's nothing nefarious going on. It's just based off of his preference at this point and what he wants. And that's what we need to keep in mind. You don't become basically the top rated coach to play for in the country by just going off half cocked and being completely erratic. There's a method to this madness, and everything you can bet has been brought by even before this happened. The focus group with the leaders on the team. So don't worry about any of that. Apparently, nothing nefarious happened with this firing. It just was kind of time, and we here at the POMcast wish Randy Clements all the best in the world. But he's going to go out, Lane Kiffin's going to go out and get a recruiter now. I've heard names. I'm not going to mention names at this point. But it's worth keeping an eye on. You're going to see somebody from a tempo background come in and take the role of this and move it forward. But it necessarily going to be the Baylor guys. Because you have to remember, there's going to be a little bit of a clash just because of who the alpha is and who is the person calling this. Lane Kiffin traditionally would want somebody calling the offense that exactly mirrors what he's thinking, so what he would call in that situation. That's never going to happen. It's going to be somebody calling it their own way. There's going to be disagreements, and it's best not to worry too much about that. That's just football. That's part of the game, and inventing drama in that situation would be a bad thing. Don't import it. It's just not worth it. But looking for an offensive lineman, like I said, I've heard names. Eventually, I will talk a little bit about those names. This is not the time to do that. But we might even try and get somebody on the show to help illustrate his point. Maybe an offensive line. I might have Corey back on the show to talk about the tempo-based offensive line work and the unique challenges that the offensive line faces in a high-tempo spread offense. So, also, that's the Randy Clements thing. But remember everything's going on. Don't necessarily, you can do all the curious, but the why isn't the important part most of the time. It's the that is the important part most of the time. And remember, whenever you hear a story and you start getting all these nuggets of information, what's the common thread? One sentence. What's the thesis of all this is going on? Once you figure that out, you'll realize, like the offensive line story, Ole Miss needs to find a new offensive line coach. That's the only thing that matters. Anyway, thank you very much for tuning in today. I'm sorry I was a little bit late. I'll do better on that tomorrow. But until then, hotty toddy.